some time back. These days, you don't see me streaming live on Facebook, but when I have finished with my program, you can access it on YouTube through Facebook. If you go to my wall on Facebook, you will see the program there, so you can always listen, and maybe you can keep it if it's interesting, or if you find it interesting, you can even save it if you want. Yeah, so you are most welcome. Now, yesterday was a wonderful day indeed. It was the 21st of September. And you know, Nkrumah was born on the 21st of September 1909. 1909. So if Nkrumah were alive, he would have been about 114 years old, I believe. Yeah. So is it 114 or something thereabouts? You know. So yesterday was his memorial, and it was a period and a time to recount and to remember the wonderful things that happened during Nkrumah's time. You remember Nkrumah first became the leader of government business and later prime minister in 1952, and all the way up to our Independence Day, 1957, then to July, when we became a republic. That was when Nkrumah was then able or became the leader of the government and the state. Because until 1960, the Queen's representative, who was a governor, was the head of state. So the Queen was actually head of state of Ghana all the way up to 1960. It was from 1960 that we declared a republic. We declared that we were a republic, and the Queen had to withdraw his representative, the governor. Well, Nkrumah was all the way up there, and until 1966, when he was overthrown. Now, the time he was overthrown, some of us were already adults, so we were able to see what Nkrumah did. He did a lot of work, but then Nkrumah was carrying a number of burdens. The first burden was this, that when it became ripe for Ghana to have its independence, suddenly the various tribes started asserting themselves again before we were colonized in 1901. Every tribe felt, well, now if the white man is going, then we should be the head of state or heads of state. Some even wanted a republican sort of system, because Ashanti felt at that time, and it was a very wrong assertion at that time, very, very wrong indeed, that they were supplying all the wealth, the mineral wealth, for the development of the whole of Ghana. They had the gold, they had timber, and then they had cocoa. So they thought of things from a very narrow sense, that why should we have all these things, and then we are not enjoying, that wealth that we have, which was a very primitive thing indeed. Very primitive, because right now we have the Akosombo Dam. Is it in Ashanti? Akosombo Dam is not in Ashanti. So if the people of that area also say, okay, we also have a dam, we will dam and be using the electricity, those people in the Volta region and some parts of the eastern region, they would have been selling some of the power to Benin, Togo, and all that. They also be making money. What about the north? In fact, the Volta region or Volta River will be dry if the people of the north block the white and black Voltas. If we also block them, no water will go down there anyway. You won't have any Volta River. So you see, sometimes we are very narrow in our thinking. Anyway, so Nkrumah was there, so there were all manner of things people wrote, even to the king at that time, or the queen rather. They wrote to the Queen at that time that Ghana was not ready to be independent. They wrote and started trying to sabotage him. But Nkrumah did a lot of work. Now, where I come from in Ghana, we were part of the UP. That is what you call MPP now, because we were districts or were a constituency with Japa Lambusi. It was one constituency, and our MP at that time was Dombo, and Dombo was actually the leader of the opposition. So we were UP people, and so those constituencies and districts that were with the opposition, we were in big trouble. We were in big trouble because not much of development was coming our way. And it has been so up to today. If you go to Lambuse, that's about the poorest district that you can find in the whole of Ghana. There's not even a drop of coal tar anywhere. One drop, a spoonful of coal tar, you can't find it. But I'm happy to hear this, that the present government is really making the road, widening it, and then hopefully to tie it all the way up. I understand they're doing 8 miles, and that was great news. I got to hear this news just yesterday when I met some young friends. It was a very big relief for me. I was very happy to hear that the people of Lambuse will also one day get up and but some people they don't know what a tar road is. They don't know what it means. Unless they go to Landlord Market and see the tar road coming from Laura all the way to Hamley. Of course, but let me also put in some little correction. Now, Hamley is part of Lambuse, so don't let anybody come and associate Hamley with another place. In fact, the place is not called Hamley; it's called Homily. Homily, Iron Works. Because they were, sort of producing iron there in those days. And what people know as Kokoligo is not Kokoligo; it is Kokorbu, forested place. So they are making a road. So in fact, when you go to Hamley Town, it is tarred. So taking it from that angle, you say, some portion of Lambuse district has some little bit of coal tar. But I'm talking of the capital. The capital is Lambuse. And hopefully, I hope the government will finish the work there before the next election. Now, another good thing is that the government is doing a hospital there. This Agenda 101, or is it 111? The Lambuse Hospital is about 50% complete. That is the information that I've got. And I think that is also good news. Of course, when NDC was also empowered, they came and put this in the, neighborhood, or what is it, secondary school there. And, they also did very well. It's one of the few that secondary schools that the NDC built when Mahama was in power. And it was a great thing indeed. So that's the little news I got yesterday. But then what did Nkrumah do? Nkrumah did a lot of work. And as I started by saying, in that time when, the various elections were being held in the 1950s, we were very young. We didn't know much what was going on. And then we were serious with our UP United Party. It was a fist, black fist. We were very serious with it. And then, because of lack of education and knowledge was not that much spread, we just didn't like Nkrumah at all. I never liked hearing that man's name at all. We just didn't like him. The thing was that what we were fed was that he was very wicked. If you mention his name, even they'll go and put you in prison. They will punish you. And of course, some of his officials who were in the little, they were, little tyrants in their own domain. Little tyrants. And some were saying the wrong things. I remember in the 60s, I did a little bit of teaching, and one day was a district commissioner or somebody who came and said, look, every teacher must make sure that he gets a CPP card. That CPP cannot be paying you and you don't have a card. Look at this. Look at this. CPP was getting the money from where? It's not the people's money. It's not tax money. So I formed a really very poor appreciation of the work that Nkrumah was doing. Very, very poor appreciation. But then, later, I worked somewhere where I was posted abroad. I went outside of Ghana. And wherever I went, people would ask me, where are you from? Where? I'll say Ghana. They say, Ghana, yeah. Nkrumah. Everywhere Nkrumah. I said, what is happening? Then I went to a university there. to see some African students, the American University in Beirut, Lebanon. And all the blacks who were there, I was a diplomat then, so I went to speak to them. When they also say, you Ghanaians, why have you disgraced Africa like that? Why did you overthrow Nkrumah? Nkrumah was overthrown in 1966, but I went to this place in 1972. So I started thinking about it. Everywhere I went, everybody was talking about Nkrumah. It was at that time that I then started trying to learn to find out who this Nkrumah was. And I found out that this man actually did a lot of work. But then there were people who were just against him. They were better educated than us. They were older. They had more experience. But they just didn't like Nkrumah. They didn't see why Nkrumah should be there. And were collaborating with foreign intelligence groups. In fact, in 1961, the British High Commissioner to Ghana at that time, actually wrote his government or sent them a note that they should remove Nkrumah because he was making the African wise. And so they collaborated and got some puppets, in Ghana, Kotoka and Afrifa, and they overthrew Nkrumah. We didn't know. People were jubilating, yay! And the white man was laughing, look at these idiots. You people don't know. You don't know what you have done. Now, so I have had the benefit of going through the Nkrumah regime and every regime that has come to Ghana up to today. And so when I compare them, and with special reference to the period that the NPP has come to government, look at the mess they are causing to Ghana. Those who were there to flagellate, to whip Nkrumah. Look at what they are doing to Ghana. Look at what is happening. And the youth are crying. When I was in the intelligence service, and let me tell you something about the security intelligence services. They always write the facts to the government of the day. I am the one telling you that because I was there for several years. From the 1960s. They will write the facts, what is happening. Even if you go to national security itself, the analysts there, they write what is happening in Ghana to the government. So it is a lot wrong for a lot of people to think that, the security is always in bed with, with the government and all that. At least I can talk for the intelligence agencies because I was an external intelligence operative, internal intelligence operative, and an internal security operative. I did intelligence within Ghana and then security also within Ghana, so I know how the system works. At least the intelligence services, they will, because if you are the intelligence services, you are to test the pulse of the nation and tell the government what is going on. When you tell them you have done your work, whether the government acts on it or not, that is their problem. After all, there was a time when I was outside and I warned the government at that time that there was going to be a coup d'etat in Ghana. Luckily, a soldier, had come to Hajj in Saudi Arabia, and I met with him, and I sent a personal report to Dr. Helen Leman, who was then the president in 1981, October 1981. The Hajj of 1981 was Friday, the 6th of October. So when they came, it was Major Sule Zorgia. I gave the report to him. I said, look, I have sent this report to my office, but you send this report direct to the president because I knew that he had direct and unfettered, access to the president, Dr. Leman. When they gave it to him, he said, oh, well, okay, my security people, they have got it. They know what to do. They know what to do. Leman was one of the best presidents Ghana has had. I'm telling you. But his name doesn't come that much. The Achampon regime had destroyed the whole of Ghana. They destroyed Ghana. Then the PPN, what was the name of that one? The June 4th, the AFRC, they came and destroyed it even further. Because the few goods that were there, they came and removed everything and sold everything out. Because they claimed that people, no, it wasn't a claim anyway, people were hoarding goods. So, for example, you can go to a store and find only 2 tins of milk there, the whole store. Meanwhile, they have a warehouse somewhere where the store is kept. So when they put that 2, They create scarcities, and so the prices will go up by 100%. That was what was happening. So when the AFRC came, they went to these stores and warehouses, removed everything, and sold them at the control price. At that time, we had what we call a control price. The control price meant the government determined the price of the item you sold. And if you increase the price by 1 peso, you go to jail for 10 years. Some were sentenced to death. That was Ghana at that time. And that was the period. So when the AFRC had not destroyed the whole of Ghana, they handed over to Lema and started plotting again to come over. And so when they came back in 1981, December 31st, they now started piling the problems on Lehman. It was Lehman that destroyed Ghana. That when they came, there was nothing. Even though it was the AFRC and the previous government, which was also a military government, they actually destroyed Ghana. Lehman was not there for any length of time, two years. But within those 2 years, he brought in a lot of ships. Ghana had its own ships, cargo ships, planes. He brought in a whole revived this metro bus system, brought in buses within the 27 months. He came. Lehman was an administrative officer and also, of course, a security and intelligence officer and also a diplomat. So he was working according to the books. If you brought anything, he will open the book and show you why it should be done or why it should not be done. They were working as administrators, not as politicians. Even though he came through politics, he was just working like the normal administrative officer would work during the colonial time. The colonial time and before independence, we didn't have parties as such. People were not appointed based on your lineage. Are you MPP or NDC? That's why sometimes people ask me, you say you were a diplomat. In whose period? I said, what are you doing with period? The time I was diplomat, we were not doing those things. How can I come from Lambusier and come and somebody will pick me into the forest? Who will do that? During my time, they advertise the qualifications you will get. Then you go and compete. You competed and you were taken. Now, even the Foreign Service, what happens? They will surreptitiously, underground, sub rosa, unknown to the public. The politicians will pushing their children, their daughters and sons. That's what happens. Have you ever seen any advertisement asking for people to come to the foreign ministry? Look at a place like even the army, where you go, you can die. Look at the number of youth, the young people who go there. They are in their thousands. They want to go to the army. They want to go to fire service, to immigration, to customs, to prisons. They want to go any job at all because things are rough. That is the fact. You can never run away from what a fact is. And that is how we worked, and I believe that is how the intelligence services are working today. The young men have no jobs and they are complaining. They are complaining. Wherever I meet them, even yesterday, they say, Mr. Boy, we are suffering. We don't have jobs. We don't have the opportunity to go, and train anywhere. And now they claim that in the teaching field, this licensure and other things, some people don't even write the exams and then they get is it a certificate or the certification? They are licensed. Every terrible thing is happening. The youth are suffering. They say the pay cannot take them home. They are hungry. They are disillusioned. They are not satisfied. They are unhappy with their own country. Those are the facts. And the politicians ought to think about these things. Because some of us, we are now old. In my lifetime, I have seen all the coups d'etat. Unfortunately for me, all of them was in the security service. So our case was worse. Not even security, intelligence service. When these horrible things happen, you are the ones that they will come for. They will kill you. Say, yes, you are the one people protecting the previous government. They will kill you. So, who wants to go through another confusion? But as I keep telling Ghanaians, no one can come and do that type of nonsense and succeed. It's just like what is happening to Burkina Faso and all those. Let them stay for some time and see. Even the democratically elected governments, look at the sweet things that they tell you. Look at what the MPP told you. We'll come, we'll do this, we'll do that. We'll do. What are they? Are they doing that? So what about? And they are prepared. Those who come through politics, some of them are prepared. They know the problem. They are well educated. They have been into politics. They know what they will do to get Ghana out of the situation. And yet, when they get in, it's another ball game. What about somebody who is not prepared at all? An opportunist. Maybe because he's the head of the bodyguards of the head of state. Oh, he'll just use the opposition. Ghana people are complaining. If I take over, they will support me. Nobody will support any such thing in Ghana. I am very sure of that. Nobody. Ghana is not like these francophone countries. Things are rough, things are tough, things are hard. The youth are just dying, literally. But I can tell you, no such thing. I can tell anybody who wants to listen to me. Ghana has a different situation altogether. The francophone countries, they have been stupid. I say they are stupid because all of them, the French gave them a certain module. That is, every head of state should have his own guards, presidential guard. And these presidential guards, they are well fed, they are well equipped, they are paid higher than the ordinary soldier. So when they have been there, after some time, look, it is said that expenditure rises to meet income. So for example, if you have a soldier and he's been getting 1,000 cedis a month, that 1,000 cedis, he will manage to live within the 1,000 cedis. If you increase that 1,000 cedis a month to 5,000 cedis, I'm telling you that after 1 year, the 5,000 will not be enough for him because now his projections will be higher. So that is why we say in economics that expenditure rises to meet income. That is, when the expenditure goes up, your aspirations will also go up. And before long, that money is so small, you have to put more again. And then the other wrong thing, I'm now giving you a critique of the useless system that the francophone African countries they have. The other thing is that they go and put generals as your bodyguard. How can you go and put a general there? And they give them the best training. So they have your personal bodyguard. The man is a university graduate. You have sent him to France for further training. And by the way, most military men who are sent for training are recruited. There is not a single military person. So I don't know why African countries send people to France. They are recruited by the intelligence agents. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Go and see Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso. Most of the people who have stayed coups there, they were all trained in America. America made sure they will choose the best, the brightest. Go and train them. And they have some secret contacts with them. So they will use them against you. See, that is their system there, which I see it's a very stupid system. How can you go and get a general coming to protect the president? I mean, it's the most incredible thing. You see, security and intelligence, they are two ball games altogether. They are a different thing. There are those who just practice, but there are those who are hands-on. The person who has been an intelligence operative and has become an analyst, I believe he is well grounded, because an operative means he has gone on the ground and then done the work. Now he can analyze. You understand? But you see, I say Ghana is different. Somebody may quickly ask, but Rawlings also had his personal bodyguard. Yes, Rawlings' own was very different. Rawlings had one of the smartest. Rawlings was one of the smartest, military leaders we have had in the whole of Africa. One of the smartest. He was smart because one, he identified with the rank and file of the army right from the time that he was in active service. So the ordinary men, normally our services, they were well structured. The officer corps, the commission, they live in their different world altogether, different from the fighters. The fighters are the young men. They never mixed. In fact, you could even be charged if they saw you, moving with other ranks. No. No, you couldn't do that. But Rawlings managed to mix with them. He was eating with them. So they loved him and they liked him. And when he formed the 64, or the June 4th, the 6th in the 64 battalion means the 6th is for June. So that thing is I mean, they formed it as a tribute or remembrance of the June 4th 1979 coup. So that's why they call it June 4th. Most of the people who put there were all these young guys who were ready to do anything. They were young men. Now most of them are grown. They are regretting. Because at that time they didn't know what they were doing and they were happy. Yeah, that an armed officer is coming, sitting there eating with them. So most of them were corporals, privates, a few sergeants and all that. Their commander was a lieutenant colonel, Bevlo Lati, who later became a national security coordinator of Ghana. So that's what so they were furious people, they were ready to die for Rawlings. That is how he did it. So it's different. Now when we are president, what do? A president, you go and get a brigadier to be your aide-de-camp. I don't understand. Rawlings never had any brigadier or army officer as his aide-de-camp. Rawlings never had that. He made sure that they were sergeants. These were killer sergeants. People were ready to die for him. They were sergeants and warrant officers. That was what he did. He never went and got brigadier. A brigadier, you should be over 50 years. How can he go and be standing like a 50-year-old man was going to stand? You understand? So those are some of the errors we also make. But apart from that, see, in Ghana's case, I've talked about Rawlings. In Ghana's case, we take, something like a presidential guard, but they are from the regular army. They are not a different group who are pampered. For example, when you go to Gabon, the current head of state, who was the commander of the presidential guard, the man is a millionaire in his own right. A millionaire. He went and bought a number of buildings, 2 of them in Miami, in Florida, the US. Each one cost more than $1 million. So he's a millionaire in his own right. So he looked at it and said, Charlie, this old man now, he's sick, he's not well. Let me just take over. So he took over. So we have a big difference. Now, what am I saying also about Ghana? If you are an idiot and a fool, and you think the youth are crying, so you should do anything to stop it, you can never save Ghana. It's not possible. It is impossible for anybody to mount an insurrection or a coup d'etat and then save Ghana. You cannot. You make matters worse. Ghana is down, out and off. Ghana is so broke. There is nothing. You come and meet nothing. You won't meet any single thing there. There is not, and you won't have any friend. The UN won't deal with you. The European Union won't deal with you. The African Union won't deal with you. No country will deal with you. So you just be a fool, and you draw us back about 1,000 years. You will draw us back about 1,000 years. So those of you demonstrators, I understand that some guys were demonstrating that they say they are Wagner and all that. Look, I have this even to tell our security services. There is no Wagner anywhere in Ghana. It's a lie. I'm telling you, that's my job. That was my job as an external intelligence operative. I know how these things work. There is no Wagner or terrorists in Ghana. Sometimes I hear that these terrorists, they have got cells in Ghana. It is not true. Let me repeat this. It is never true. We do not have any terrorists in Ghana, not even one. If we have, listen to me, conditional. If we have, they have been put there by these same external intelligence agencies like the CIA, MI6, and then the MI6 of Britain, and the CIA of America, and also the external directorate of the French security service. They are the people. All these Boko Haram, where do they get the arms from? Who has been feeding them with money? These are guys, most of them haven't been to school. They have no job, nothing. They have never had any job before. So who gives them the guns and the bullets? It is those external people. They have been, especially France, they are financing them. There's a time that they saw, especially, Nigeria was about to take off. They said, no, if Nigeria takes off and they become wise, they have enough money to industrialize. So let us put these people there. When they put them there, then they come and deceive you. One day I heard that Ghana is under threat. Ghana is not under any threat. Ghana is not under any threat. Now, but this is not to change the security architecture of Ghana. Because as an intelligence operator, what I know is when you hear anything, that's at the intelligence level, anything that you hear, you take it that it is true. So you get ready. But I am saying Ghana is not at any. If you hear any of these things, they are going to come from the British intelligence or American intelligence or French. They are the people doing that. They are destabilizing all these people. They are the people. They are financing them. They are giving them the money. Say, Charlie, this place. Look, these people, if they get wise, they will do this to us. Then France will say, you are, there's instability in your country. Let us bring soldiers. Then you come and bring 1,500 soldiers. What can 1,500 French soldiers do in let's say, Niger? What can they do? Niger has a population of about 25 million. You 1,500, what can they do? And then they put in some very idiotic and stupid sort of command structure. That anytime that the Niger people, the Africans, when you suspect that somebody is a terrorist, they should tell you, the Frenchmen, and to cross-check before you attack. So when you tell them, they know that, this is one of the people that they are using to fight you. They say, no, don't attack. And when you arrest them of them, bring them to we the French will keep them. And Niger arrested a number of them very stupidly. They went and gave them to the French people. They kept them, and then suddenly, before you know, they have released them. So Ghana, look, I am not saying that we may not have all this, but if it happens, it is the same external people who are doing that. If there are cells and sleepers, they are the ones who have put them. So that when you challenge that there's none, they'll let them go and bomb a place and say, we told you. But they are the people. So if you hear of anything like this in Ghana, go and hold these intelligence services. They are the ones doing that. They are the one. I'm the one telling you. I'm the one telling you. They are the one causing all that confusion. There is nobody anywhere, masterminding these things. Look at Boko Haram. When they saw armored tanks, who gave them the armored tanks? Who has been financing them? Who is it? Not that it is the French. Now, Burkina Faso has become wiser. Niger has become wiser. Guinea has become wiser. So you, the French, you are doing that. They will use that as a means of coming to put soldiers there. Ghana is doing the same. And one day that Britain said, Ghana, there's some threat about attacking Ghana. Even there are some cells. Where are those cells? Where are those cells in Ghana? They are not there. You are the ones. You are the ones. Their own embassies. They get arms. They'll go and give it to people that they have recruited. They'll go and put a bomb there. We told you. Hey, now the people have started in Ghana too. Look, Ghanaians are wiser than that. If they dare to play those tricks, and I'm telling you, they are tricks. Because I've worked at the highest system of our intelligence agencies, at the highest, and I know what is happening. So sometimes I hear even commentators on radio and TV talking, these people, they say they are cells. They don't have any cells. It is these same people who don't want us to industrialize, who will come and put one or two people. When they throw a bomb, they quickly smuggle them in their diplomatic cars and run away with them and go and stay somewhere. And then after some time, they'll go and let them do something again. They say, hey, come and help us. And then they come and occupy you. You come and occupy the place. When you say leave, they will not leave. Don't you see in Mali, since they kicked the French soldiers out, they have intensified. They have now given more arms to the people, attacking them. Every time you hear since we went, the attacks have increased. They haven't increased. You have increased your attacks on Mali. This is what is happening. I heard that Britain says, that they are going to come and give us some vehicles for that. I say, you Ghanaians, look, listen to the intelligence agencies. We have a number of them. We have them in Ghana here. Be wiser. They are the ones doing that. Before you know, Britain has not been happy that America, imagine America coming to take half of the airport in Accra, Terminal 1. They are the only people who can go there. Your IGP cannot go there. Even your president cannot go there. The whole airport. They have come to take it. They will bring planes, bring all manner of guns and things here. One day, some atomic bomb will explode there and Accra will be finished. How can you go and sign a stupid type of pact like this? But because the Americans are here, the British are not happy. Because they feel that Ghana is part of their sphere of control. Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and all their former, they feel that that is their area too. So they are telling lies. They are telling you lies. They're coming to tell black lies. We are coming to help them. We are bringing people to come and train you. All the people they will bring to train you, they will recruit your people and use them to be overthrowing your own governments. You watch and see. Go and make a mistake. When they talk, you won't hear. They will, and oh yeah, three Ghanaian soldiers are going for further training at Fort something in America. What sort of further training? We have had independence for more than 60 years. You are still going to America for what sort of training? There is nothing to train there in America. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing. The thing is, when you go, they would show you the sophisticated weapons they have. Yes, which is a fact. But when you are coming, will they give them to you? So what's the use of the training when the sophisticated thing that they have given you, you don't have it back home? Huh? What is its use? It's like we have, one engineer about 200-300 years ago, engineer, he was called Amu, who trained, he was a full engineer in Germany. He came back to Ghana. And when he came back, there was nothing for him to do. He became a blacksmith because the system hadn't grown for him to exhibit and to practice his work as an engineer. So that is it, but they recruit him. Before they say anybody that they know that this guy is so intelligent that he will one day be commander of the army. Then they will come and say they are having a scholarship. They recruit him. Nobody goes to America, Britain, France, or Germany to train without their intelligence officer recruiting you. They can do that directly and they can do that indirectly. I know how it is done. You may not even know. You won't even know that you are working for them. You won't even know that they are working for them. They can deceive you. Yeah. Can you write a paper on Ghana's army, the structure, the strengths, what equipment you use? Because we are thinking of sending you, a number of equipment so that our people study it and see where we can help you. They have deceived you to write a security intelligence report like that. When they take it, you have sold your country, but you don't know. Then you sit down there and try to help my country. It's as easy as that.